Harry remarked out loud that they would be in trouble if anything ever happened to even one of their four prize bulls. When they returned, the four bulls were missing. The bulls would be found later locked in a small, unused trailer, crammed together like sardines in a can. 2 years of incidents and psychological attacks was adversely affecting the family. The children who were honor students before moving to the ranch saw their grades decline greatly. Gwen Sherman lost her job due to absences from work. Sleep was getting harder. The family was experiencing violent nightmares, and they would find that they all were experiencing the same dream. The family started sleeping in the living room and on its floor because no one wanted to sleep alone. The Shermans told some of their story to the Desert News, which published an article in 1996. The story came to the attention of the National Institute for Discovery Science, also known as NIDS. NIDS is a paranormal research organization owned by millionaire Bob Bigelow. Bigelow owns the Budget Suites hotel chain and has recently delved into the aerospace industry. NIDS purchased the property from the Shermans for $200,000. Their hope was that they could document and study some of the unusual activity the Shermans had observed over the 2 year span that they had lived on the ranch. It wouldn't take long. In August of 1996, the first night the scientists moved in, they saw two bright yellow orbs hovering 15 to 20 feet off the ground. As they came closer to the orbs, they saw a giant human-like animal climb high into a tree. As they came closer to the tree, they noticed the creature's large stature. One of the group, an area rancher who was with them, fired on the creature, saying, "They won't get any more of our cattle tonight." They searched the area for a body or blood of the creature, but found none. But they did find large tracks in the snow. These tracks looked human-like, but with long claws. Nids wanted privacy in their attempts to study the strange phenomenon on the ranch. They kept most of the goings-on from the ranch to themselves until 2002, when they allowed George Knapp, a reporter for the Las Vegas Mercury, to come to the ranch and write an article about some of the phenomenon. Later, Com Keller and George Knapp would write the book Hunt for the Skinwalker. The book would document the Sherman stories as well as the continued activities that the NIDS scientists had seen, such as when a scientist saw a large creature come through a portal on the ranch. The creature could be seen through night vision goggles only. Also, the account of seeing a fast-moving creature that had some sort of invisibility field around it, similar to the Predator movies. Nids kept cattle on the ranch to test if the cattle mutilations would continue, which they did. The mutilations would occur on a regular basis, often only a few hundred yards from investigators. Analysis of the dead cattle revealed that a sharp instrument had been used in the dismemberment of the animals. 40% of the body mass would be removed, and no trace of blood would be found on the ground. NIDS scientists surmised it would take a significant amount of time to finish the dismemberment of the cattle, but the scientists were left perplexed, because on one occasion the animal found dead had been seen by scientists 20 minutes earlier. By 2002, the activity had slowed down, and NIDS no longer had a full-time presence on the ranch, but they would periodically check on the ranch property and report any activity. In 2007, the unusual phenomenon had started to pick up again. Nid still owns the ranch and does not allow uninvited guests on the grounds. The prolonged and various paranormal activities in and around this ranch make it a unique place. Conclusions vary as to what was causing the strange activity. One would think that supernatural forces would be involved. Poltergeist activity and orbs of light attest to this. They are usually signs of supernatural activity, as well as the appearance of non-human entities on the property. These events, coupled with the UFO and cattle mutilation activity, I believe shows a connection between them. The legitimate UFO and alien beings that are thought to exist are connected to the supernatural and the occult, and are not what they usually claim to be. Usually they claim to be from another planet and another galaxy, and that they're here to help humans evolve. This is just not the case. I believe this is going to be a major end-time deception when and if they make an appearance. If they come down to this world and claim to be aliens, many people will follow them. Many people will look at them as their gods, for guidance and what the Earth and the planet should do. And there's no doubt that a lot would follow, but they would be deceived. Another possible explanation for the phenomenon on the ranch could be some type of government activity, testing of weapons, crafts, or possibly digging something under the property. While this could account for the UFO activity, it would not account for the many types of phenomenon that the Shermans and the researchers who came there experienced. But again, what makes this site so unique is the fact that so much of this different activity happening at the same time over such a prolonged period of time is just practically unheard of. You could hear stories of a haunted house or weird things happening in certain areas because of usually occult activity, and or somebody has a sighting of a UFO or something, and it's a very limited event, and this just drug on and on. And apparently, by the history of the house with the deadbolts and everything, the people who had lived prior to that were having some issues, at least the poltergeist issues, and the area in general with the UFO activity. Something definitely seems to be going on in that area, something that's important enough that the phenomenon is not going away over time. And also, I'm curious about the underground activity with them hearing machinery under the earth. This is a situation where it would lean more towards government or some type of group digging and doing stuff around the ranch with the soil being disturbed and the hearing of something moving underground, which makes you wonder, did the government knows about something there and they were responding to it. The property is still being watched, and in time there may yet be more mysterious encounters to come from the Skinwalker Ranch. Thank you for your interest in the show, and may God bless and keep you.
The Revelation 13 podcast is hosted by Mike Hopwood and is a podcast dedicated to the study of end-time events, news events, and ancient mysteries.